So today we have Punisher from the Netflix series taking on DCEU's Batman. Who wins? Oh, let's find out. So, start off with strength. Batman has easily broken bones, sent people flying, thrown people through walls, punched a guy into a floor, and one-shotted Harley Quinn. It's a straight punch to the face. He's broken cinder blocks, kicked a gun in half, ripped apart Firefly's metal armor, threw a large crate over his head with his grapple gun, and he's physically restrained and killed parademons with his bare hands. And they're superhuman. But Frank Castle has brutally and violently killed people with his bare hands or with a melee weapon. He's easily snapped necks and overpowered Daredevil and easily suplexed Matt. While injured and in mental restraints, he was able to really stagger Wilson Fisk and cause him to bleed, and he's ragdolled people and one-shotted them while very injured as well. He's even slowly cut a guy's head off with a knife. And imagine that. It wasn't like a clean shink, right? It was with a knife, and he slowly did it. They're very close, but I'd say Batman has a slight edge, at least in terms of striking power. However, Frank's violent nature does make up for it. Durability. Punisher is a sponge. His pain tolerance is unreal, and he just soaks up pain and damage and just keeps on fighting. Call it willpower, call it insanity, call it stubbornness, call it whatever you want. After several hits from Daredevil, being kicked off a water tower and shot in the arm by a sniper, he was able to keep on fighting Daredevil. He laughed off a brutal pounding from Kingpin, while already hurt and exhausted, dug a razor out of his own arm, and he's routinely endured being tortured for hours. He kept on fighting after being sliced up and down his body multiple times by small blades, as well as after being shot with an arrow, and being stabbed. He survived being in a van as it fell off of a bridge downwards while already very injured. And he was actually still conscious afterwards. He even survived being shot in the head. He also wears this bulletproof vest. But Batman's armor is completely bullet and fireproof, even his helmet. He casually took hits to the face from mercenaries, got back up after being thrown into a wall, and again through a metal railing. He got back up after crashing through a stone wall at high speeds. He remained conscious after a hit from Superman that sent him flying. His gauntlet was even able to temporarily block Clark's heat vision. Bruce's armor gives him the edge here, but Frank's pain tolerance is just something else entirely. Speed. Batman is very fast, agile, and mobile. He's dodged blaster fire while getting closer to the parademon, dodged a shotgun blast at close range while suspended up in a corner of a room, and he used his grapple gun to narrowly dodge Doomsday's heat vision. He was also able to instantly get out of Superman's line of sight with that smoke bomb, and he just fights at a very fast pace with a lot of mobility. Even for his older age, he's just incredibly fast and agile. But Frank has evaded bullets more than once, disarmed a thug before he could fire, and Daredevil even mentioned he was fast. But most of his speed comes from his draw speed with his gun. While at gunpoint and with like 6 guys already aiming at him, he was able to quickly pull out his gun and shoot all of them before any of them could react and fire. It was literally just like a second, just bang, 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 and they all just drop. Um, I actually think Frank has a faster reaction time because of that less feet, but he's not as agile or mobile as Batman. Um, so I'd say, so physically, I'd say they're basically even. Frank has an incredible pain tolerance. Batman has his armor that makes him tougher. Batman has a better striking power. And reaction speed goes to Frank, but agility and mobility goes to Bruce. So, skill. Frank is a highly skilled, ruthless, tenacious, and brutal combatant who excels at marksmanship due to his training in the military. Even Daredevil acknowledged that he's trained. He has a unique fighting style that combines his hand-to-hand combat ability and brutality with his marksmanship while in close quarters combat. He bested or matched Daredevil and Billy Russo. He brutally killed like a dozen angry prison inmates with just his bare hands. He was able to fight against Wilson Fisk despite being hurt and injured, and his hands and feet being in mental restraints. And Fisk even acknowledged his gift of brutality and violence. He easily killed 2 cops, killed 9 of Russo's men while injured, killed several assassins, and he bested John Pilgrim in a very gruesome, violent, brutal street fight. And he is a very accurate and fast shot, whether at a distance or in close quarters. He excels in marksmanship, whether it's with handguns, sniper rifles, shotguns, SMGs, or assault rifles. Uh, but this is Batman we are talking about here. His best feat is the warehouse scene. He skillfully and gracefully put down 20 to 25 armed mercenaries in just like 2 to 3 minutes. He also bested Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and several parademons. He's just a master of several martial art forms, and he aims to put down enemies as fast as possible by aiming to break bones, tear ligaments, and whatnot. And although he doesn't seem to necessarily aim for it, this version of Batman doesn't mind killing, which means he's incredibly dangerous. Batman has also been protecting Gotham as the Caped Crusader for 20 plus years now as well. Batman is the better hand-to-hand fighter and martial artist, but Punisher's brutality and unique fighting style will keep him in the fight for sure. Now moving on to versatility. Frank Castle has used a wide variety of firearms over his 2 seasons, with his handgun being the most consistent. He's also showed that he will use anything in his environment as a weapon, whether it's a clubbing weapon, a bladed weapon, or other things like chains. And his vest has his iconic skull logo on it. This is to draw enemy fire to it and away from his head and other unprotected body parts, as well as to instill fear into his targets. But Batman has his gadgets. He has batarangs, smoke bombs, and his grapple gun as his main gadgets. His batarangs can slice through guns. Smoke bombs allowed him to instantly escape Clark's line of sight, despite his speed and supervision. And his grapple gun allowed him to quickly travel around the battlefield, and it could damage concrete. And although he only showed it once, he does have another gadget that probably would prove to be useful in a fight against someone like Punisher. A remote-controlled anti-gun explosive. Basically, a small bomb that doesn't hurt people, but deactivates all their firearms within a certain radius. So, who wins? Well, let's just get to it. Frank primarily fights with his guns. Batman's suit is bulletproof and covers like 95+% of his body. The only part that isn't covered is the bottom part of his face. Now, Punisher is definitely more than skilled enough to land a shot there, right? Even while in a fast-paced close quarters fight. However, it's heavily hinted at that Batman has fought and beaten Deadshot in an actual fight before. probably more than once, and Deadshot is probably just as fast and accurate of a shot as Frank is. And then if Batman uses that anti-gun gadget, well, all of Frank's guns will be unusable. And then it's a purely hand-to-hand fight, which would favor Batman. Um, Frank can hold his own here, sure, especially with his brutality and just overall violence. But he can't beat Batman this way. He just can't. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Frank's vest will do nothing to protect him from Batman's batarangs and grapple gun, both of which have either sliced through metal or damaged concrete. And although Frank's tolerance for pain is insane, possibly even better than Bruce's, he is still human, and he can still be beaten, knocked out, and or killed. At the end of the day, I'm siding with Batman on this one. Batman wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought, and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all that great stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.